Hello, my name is Brian Kinney, and I'm a Striven ERP advisor. And welcome to our Human Resources lesson, where we will be discussing employee profiles. Topics today will include the employee dashboard, basic information, collaboration, shifts and time off, and hourly rate and salary. So with that, let's get started. Now before we get too involved in managing the employee's information, let's first walk through how to add a new employee into Striven. There are three ways to add an employee into Striven. One is to use the Add button on the Employees list. To find the Employees list, click Employees and List from the drop-down. Here you'll see a blue Add Employee button, which you can click, and then begin adding the employee information who you're going to add into Striven. The other way you can add employees into Striven is to go to the Employees list once again and click the Import button. Once on the Import page, you have a few tools available to start importing employees into Striven. One tool you have is the cloud icon, which when clicked, you'll be able to download a sample CSV file, and this file will have all the column headers which you need to enter the appropriate information underneath, such as the employee's first and last name, their hire date, the location in which they work, and much more. You can also click the window icon, which is the mapping. Here you'll see all the column headers that we saw in the sample CSV file, as well as a brief description of all the information that needs to be filled out underneath in order to start importing employees into Striven. Once you've formatted your CSV file, you can upload it here and begin mapping and importing your employees. This process will allow you to import employees en masse all at once. And the third option for entering employees into your Striven system is to use the Create icon. If we click the plus, we have an Employee section, and by clicking Employee underneath, this will bring us to the Add Employee page very quickly. And here we have the same exact options as we saw by going to the Employees list and clicking the Add button. We can fill in the employee's full name, and if we need to add a prefix or suffix, we can click the Actions menu and fill that information out here. We can enter their birth date, their social security number, phone number. Their email is what they will use to log into Striven day in and day out. We can enter their home address, add a user role for what they can access inside of Striven. And if we don't want them to be a system user, meaning that we don't want them to log in and out of Striven every day, but we still want to track and report on their information, we can make them not a system user. When toggling that box on, you'll see the user access options go away since they will not have access into the system. We can fill out their medical and dental benefits as well as their employment information. For instance, when they started, their manager, where they work in terms of our company locations, their job title, division, and job type. Once we have all that information, we can choose Save and Close, and we'll be able to save the employee in our Striven system. If you want to see all the employees in your Striven system, you can go to the Employees list and click the Search button. Here we'll be able to see all the available employees, as well as a brief overview of all the information that we filled out, including their division, what team they're on, their manager, their location, and much more. You'll also have individual icons underneath each employee, and this will allow you to send a message, view their email, view their phone book, view their bio, view their skill sets, view their time off, view their personal calendar, and view their tasks. By clicking on an employee's name, you'll be brought to the employee's info page. Here you'll be able to see all the information related to the employee. Their full name, employee number, their birth date. Their social security is encrypted, so if you have access to view or edit that information, you can click the hyperlink to do so. We can see their user access, meaning all the user roles that they have, their phone number, email, and address, as well as their employment information, and any benefits that they have as well. This is the employee dashboard. Here we have a lot of different tools to manage the employee's information, and we'll talk about each of them as we go. On the employee homepage, we have an Actions menu to associate the employee with a candidate, view their time off accrual settings, and even create tasks for the employee as well. We can see if the employee is linked to something like a previous candidate or application. We can view the audit log to see changes in the employee's information, and even view their Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google their information as well. Let's talk about all the top tabs that we have here one by one and see what we can achieve. By clicking the Collaboration tab, this will bring us to the Employees Hub. Each employee has their own hub, which means we can add folders and documents that relate to the employee themselves. We can even view surveys, quizzes, assessments, or forms that have been associated to the employee and that they have completed in the past. The next section is the employee's hourly rate and cost. In this section, we have a toggle box on the top, which is not billable by default. If we toggle this checkbox on, then time entries added for the employee will not be billable by default. If we uncheck it, then they will be billable by default. We also have two sections related to hourly rate and cost for the employee. On the left section is the default hourly rate and cost, and here we can see information such as the effective date, the hourly rate, and the hourly cost. If we want to edit this information, we can click the pencil and pad icon, and we can choose the effective date, the hourly rate, and the hourly cost, and click Save to save our changes. If we need to add a new cost, we can click the Add Rate and Cost button and fill out the appropriate information. Within this section, we can see pertinent information related to the default hourly rate and cost, such as how much it costs our company to pay the employee per hour, the hourly rate which we charge our customers, and when it goes into effect. The right-hand side is the hourly rate and cost by item, and you can see here we have one item added called labor, the effective date, the hourly rate we charge our customers for the item on time entries and timesheets, and the hourly rate and cost for our company. If we want to add a new hourly rate and cost by item, we can click the blue Add Cost item. Here we can choose the service item, choose the effective date for when this goes into effect, add in the hourly rate which we want to charge customers for, and the hourly cost it takes our company to pay the employee. Then choose Save and Close, and now we have our brand new item added to the hourly rate and cost by item section. If you want to deactivate any of these, you can click the trash can icon to deactivate. The next section is the employee salary log. The salary log shows salary adjustments that have been made in the past for this particular employee. Columns here include when the salary adjustment took effect, who added the salary adjustment, what date the salary adjustment was added, and the amount the salary was adjusted to. There will also be a hyperlink for the next review date. By clicking the next review date, you can choose a new review date from the calendar option dropdown and choose Save to save the changes. There's also blue buttons above the salary log itself where you can add a salary. Here you will be able to add the effective date, the next review date, and how much the salary is for. You can view salary adjustments that have been made, and there's also an option to add an adjustment here. By clicking Add Adjustment, you'll be able to choose the adjustment date, the amount you're adjusting, and the reason for the adjustment. You can also click View Pay, and this will show pay dates for the employee. If you've deactivated salary adjustments in the past, you can click Include Deactivated Salary, and this will show any deactivated salary adjustments that have been made previously. The next section is Skill Sets. The Skill Sets section will display all the skill sets that have been associated to the employee. And here you'll find three columns. The first is the Skill column, where each skill set will be listed. The skill set name is a hyperlink, which when clicked will initiate a pop-up showing the skill and the level associated to the employee. If we need to change the skill set or the expertise level, we can do so here and choose Save and Close to save our changes. It's important to point out that each appropriate field, both the skill and the expertise level, have a plus button which you can click to easily add different expertise levels or skill sets right from this pop-up. The second column on the skill sets section is the level. This will show the expertise level for each appropriate skill. And the third is the expiration date. If there's an expiration date associated to any skill set, That will be visible here so that managers can easily see when the upcoming expiration date is and help get the employee recertified if necessary. And finally, you have the trash can icon to deactivate any skill set. If a skill set has been deactivated, you can search for those by clicking inactive for the status and clicking search. You can also search skill sets for the expertise level and the skill itself. This is a multi-select drop-down, so you can search, so you can click and search for skill sets that match the selected criteria. You can also add a skill set for the employee by clicking the blue Add button. Here you can choose what skill you'd like to add and choose Save and Close. If the skill set has an expiration date, you can choose the expiration date down below. Once you choose Save and Close, you'll be brought back to the skill sets list. And this will show you all the skill sets, and we'll see our new skill set located on the list as demonstrated. The next section is the order approval setting. Here you can configure how much an employee can quote or approve for sales orders and purchase orders. The quote approval section will have how much in dollar figures the employee can approve in terms of our sales orders. For instance, if I don't want this employee to approve anything over $500, I can put $500 in this field, meaning they can approve up to $500. If I don't want them to approve any more than $500, I can uncheck No Limit. This will mean that they can approve up to $500, but no more. We can also choose whether they can quote approvals for orders with negative or zero line items. If we want them to quote approval for orders that have negative or zero line items, we can leave this box checked. If we do not want them to do so, we can uncheck the box. We can also choose whether or not we want them to approve purchase orders. And here we have the same options as our sales orders. We can dictate how much they can approve up to. If this area is blank, then they will have no limit for approving purchase orders. But here we can choose to add an amount, and we can also choose whether they can add blank line items on POs or not. If we do not want them to add blank line items, we can simply toggle on the box. If we do want them to be able to add blank line items, we can uncheck. And when we click Save, all of our changes will be saved and we'll have the green status to notify us of our successful save. The next section is time off. Here we will see the employee's time off availability, their accrual rate, and their time off as of their last request. We can also view their time off requests down below. Columns here include the category for the time off request, the time off period in which they've requested for, as well as the start and end dates and times, the reason they provided for the time off request, the status, whether it's pending, approved, or denied, as well as any flex time that have been included in the time off request itself. There are also buttons at the top for employees to add time off by clicking the Add Time Off button. Here they can choose any available category for their job title, choose the calendar icon to set their time off from and their time off to, and this will default to their shift hours. Here we can see 8 to 5, and this will take effect for either one or all days that have been selected. And here they can fill out their reason and choose Save and Close to save the time off request. To learn more about time off management, please view our time off management video as well, and that will help you configure, create, and manage time off requests inside of your Striven system. The next section is shifts. Here we'll be able to see the shift that has been assigned to the employee. And here we'll be able to see which days they work and the hours they work for each appropriate day. If we need to assign a new shift, we can click the New Shift Assignment button. And here we can set an effective date. The Assigned To will have the employee automatically listed. And here we can choose to assign the employee to a different shift if we so choose. We can also choose Copy from Employee, which means we can choose an employee who we want to copy their shift for and Save and Close to save the shift assignment. We can even search for an as of date, so if we want to view past shift assignments, we can click the calendar icon, go further in the past, choose a date, and click Search to see their shift assignment at that time. We can also add a shift exception as well, which means if they can't work for a specific date and time, we can add the time here. So what time it starts, what time it ends, the date in which this takes effect, and we can even add their break time and their break time threshold. The last section is the page visit trail. Here, we can click the search button and see all the pages that the employee has visited while signed into Striven. We can also search for a date range in which they've used Striven, as well as times if we want to get more detailed. We can even search for the page title and the IP address as well. By going back to the Home section, we can view all the details related to the employee in their Striven system. Other information that employees can manage here include adding their bio, and here they can enter content about themselves, and they can add hyperlinks and conditional format, including adding numbering, styling their font, and much more. They can also add their own signature, and the signature will populate with any merge field that you add into automatic notifications, mass emailing, and multi-touch, and that merge field is user signature. Now let's go to the employees list once again, and I'll point out one status that is important to know what it means and how to use it. Let's click on an employee's name, and this will bring us into their employee info like we saw before. In the user access section, we'll see a blue button that says resend welcome email. This is a helpful indicator to let us know that the employee has not yet signed into Striven, and we can use this button to resend a welcome email to them. Once clicking the button, an email will be sent to the login email listed to the left, which the employee can use to click the available hyperlink and create a login for their Striven account. Once logged in, this resend welcome email notice will go away, just as we saw in the previous employee's homepage. You can also add an employee image by clicking the upload button. Here a pop-up will appear in which you can see all the allowed file extensions, and the max file size per file uploaded is 10 megabytes. And that was a look at creating and managing employee information and how you can best manage information such as skill sets, time off, shifts, and more for your human resources needs.